One.
Uh-huh. Uh-oh.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal.
Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And I want to say to all of you out there, our listeners, happy Black History Month.
Yes. This is that month where you feel that you're black every day of the year, but you even take in some extra blackness.
you get extra black during the month of
You
February.
actually get extra black during the month of February.
I love it. I
Or
love
in
it.
my case, extra militant. I'm always extra
Oh.
black, but I become extra militant at that point. What can I say, man? I love being black.
Oh man, I tell you, man. For those of you who are just tuning in, man, we're gonna have an amazing show today. And for those who don't know what the Business Zone is all about, the Business Zone is a small business advisory, coaching, and a resource show that provide information to small businesses throughout Southern California, the United States, and the world. We're pretty global, guys. We're global when it comes to small business. So we help you to get your business ready, contract ready, loan ready, and nonprofit ready. And you get two of the best in the business here. You got my co-host Crystal Mitchell, who I call the Superwoman, and you got me, Gilbert Buchanan, yours truly, the small business paramedic. Been in the business over 30 years, and I won't tell you how long Crystal has been in the business.
Well, collectively, we got a couple of we have a half a
Uh,
century, but that's a half a century of information and knowledge that
yep,
that
that's
that really
right.
is here to support the small business owner, the black business owner. Um, but wanting to make sure that everyone does business in a business like way, a contract way, and make sure that they're bankable so that when they need money, they can actually go out and get money. So
That's right.
that's what we're doing over here, over here where we are, over here where we are.
And since most of you do not hear this on a regular basis, folks, we want to let you know that if you didn't know, now you know that the reason small businesses have to struggle so much is because the system is designed to step on our throat. It's designed to keep us down. So that's why whenever we apply for contracts, we apply for loans, we apply for support services, we always hear this one word: no. They always tell us no, folks. So what we do here on the Business Zone, we try to rip down those no's and convert them into yeses. So we want to make sure our small businesses know what yeses sound like. So you can go out there, get your contracts, you can get your grant, get your funding, get your business contacts and your opportunities. So with Black History Month, folks, we're going to prove that
Right.
we don't take no for an answer.
And you know what, Gilbert? I was telling someone the other day. When on the community briefing yesterday, we had the California American Water guy, a representative from there, the director of businesses there. And I was telling them that I am proud to say, and this is myself and you and all the other consultants and advisors that work really hard. I mean, we worked hard from 2020 up to 20 to today, but we
Yeah.
really worked hard in 2020 and 2021, making sure that our businesses were doing what they need to do. So today, I would say, and that our businesses have their taxes. Their taxes are current.
Yeah.
They actually have their accounting systems in place. I have been
Mm-hmm.
fielding calls since late December on people anxious to get ready to pay to process their taxes.
Yeah.
That has not happened in the past.
That is true.
Um, they're current. I mean, they're not even reconciling back to the beginning of the year. They actually are calling me to review what their whole year of what they've done to make sure everything is in the right places. Um, and so I'm pretty excited about that. I have to say that we did a very good job during 2020 helping these businesses get on track. And the best part about it is that they recognize that they had to get on track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is progress right there, folks. That is progress. And we can't wait to share those great accomplishments with contract providers, lenders, promoters, marketers, whomever who wants to tap into our small business pool. And just so all of you know, guys, we've got a small business pool of more than 1,500 small businesses. As a matter of fact, we think we're up to about 2,500 at this particular time. So if any of you out there, contract providers, funders who really want to tap into good resources, we've got those small businesses available for you.
Exactly. So I'm pretty proud of what's going on. So I think, a larger percentage of businesses are more business ready than they have been in the past.
Yes.
Um, and I mean, we still have work to do, but
Yeah.
I will say that people have really shown that they really do take their businesses serious. And as I tell all my new business owners, you put too much time, effort, and money into
Mm-hmm.
creating your business for you not to really want it to be successful.
Yeah. Yep. I
Yeah,
totally
so
agree.
I mean, that's just too much time, energy, and effort, the sacrifices that you've had to make with your
Yeah.
family, all of that. So this is not something you take lightly. You have to put you have to continuously work in your business, work on your business rather, not in your business. That has been some of the issues. Is we have to work in our business to make sure, on our business to make sure that our business is already always ready for whatever opportunity is about to present itself.
Right, exactly. And I just want to put it out there, folks, to those of you who probably don't know or are not familiar by now, one of our amazing representatives, Pele, soccer star Pele, who has mastered soccer. They call him the king of soccer. He
Mm.
died. He died at the end of 2022. I think he died December 27th or 29th, I think, December 29th,
Yeah, I think
2022.
so.
And it was just so tragic for us, because he's been a trailblazer. And I just want to share some of his sentiments. These are some of the key words that he used. He said, I have come to accept that the life of a front runner is a hard one, that he will also suffer more injuries than most men, and that many of these injuries will not be accidental. Now, that statement is not an accident, folks. When Pele used to play, and that was early, in the early the 60s, 70s, Pele was one of those folks because he was so good, and they couldn't understand why he was so great. They would try to hurt him on the field. They would kick him down. They'll do whatever. They'll hit him, step all over him, and the referees would say nothing about it. So part of this statement that I just read isn't just a phrase for you to think about. This is actual something that happened to him, and we could also use this as a metaphor. We can use it as a metaphor to say, hey, while you're out there as a front runner in the African American community, as an African American trailblazer, there will be people who will try to step on your throat. They'll try to kick you down. They'll try to hurt you. They'll try to inflict injuries on you. But And we know those injuries are not going to be accidental because systems are designed to keep us down. Systems are designed to step on our throats. We heard of redlining. A lot of you heard of redlining. I'm not quite sure what redlining is. Well, let me tell you what it is. And redlining wasn't just created by a certain group. The government influenced redlining. So what it is, when certain black people live in a certain neighborhood, they would draw a red line on a map around that area where all the blacks live and say, these folks within this red-lined area, they shouldn't be exposed to some of the opportunities that others should get. And that's part of the reason why they created ghettos. They created all these areas that makes it difficult for us to thrive and achieve economic opportunity. I did a little reading here, co-host, on a ghetto, what a ghetto really means. And you know what the ghetto means? The ghetto was an experiment that was tried by the Germans back in the day against the Jews. So what they did, they picked a number of Jews, they put them in an area, and they provided resource, meaning food. And the food that they provided was less than the number of people in the little area, the ghetto areas that they established. So what's going to happen? They're going to be fighting for food. And the ones who were able to stand at the end, who would kill all the others, the weaker ones, those are the ones who would get the food. And that's how ghettos were formed. And if you notice, they did the same thing to African Americans, where they create these communities with limited resources. So the African Americans would fight over these resources, folks. And that's why you're seeing some of these types of activities going on in ghettos, in hoods, in different areas, where you have one group fighting against another, and it's for survival. And the people who designed this structure, they're there laughing, licking their chops, feeling good about it, think it's a great experiment for them. But what they don't understand is that any experiment that's always created, there's always a backlash to it.
There's always a backlash. Always a backlash. Always a backlash. And Gilbert, you're absolutely right. And there's a book that I'm big on reading, and I think that right at the present moment, everybody should be big on reading. Hey, Greg, good to see you. So, the book is called The Color of Law, and it was written. It's about redlining. Basically, it explains exactly how they culled out us from the areas that we lived in. And it's like they've made they tossed you over in the ghetto, right? But that was only temporary, right? Because when they needed that land that you were in the ghetto, then they came in and started to regentify that area. And we kind of talked about that last week when we had TJ on, how they regentified it, and all of a sudden what they had deemed as uninhabitable land, then they came back and got it 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, which is what's happening now. So and this book is by Richard Rothstein, and you guys can find it on Amazon. Excellent book, and it really maps out, and it actually shows a map about how the purple area is the most desirable area. The green area is desirable. The yellow, we're getting kind of close and dicey. And then the red area is where they put all the minorities. So, but then they can come back through eminent domain and just take your house.
And take it whenever they want. See, our field correspondent, Greg, he puts up a little narrative here. He said they did a color coding and the maps. So with the lending maps, they have 4 colors. And you have green for best, blue, still desirable, yellow for declining, and red for hazardous. So
Right.
that's how the lenders did their coloring. So it's very
Yeah.
similar to what you just said,
And
co-host.
said. And so if you go and get that book, it's an absolutely amazing book. Another book for you to help understand the whole concept behind gentrification is How to Kill a Neighbor, How to Kill a City, and it's gentrification intervention, and he actually gives you the formula of how exactly it happens. So nothing is just
It's
happening.
not accident. It's not
It's not an
accident. Yeah.
accident. So, but you don't know that if you're not out there reading and researching, and
Yeah.
there should be no reason for you not to know that today,
Yeah.
because everything is really at your fingertips. But you really truly have to sit down and really connect, because and today's show is about that. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk about Black history, and we're going to
Mhm.
elevate um our heroes and our sheroes that really changed America. We're going to even talk about some interesting stats that I found that was quite interesting. But then what we're really going to talk about is why Black history is more important than ever, and why we, even though we have this month to elevate ourselves, and it's very, very important that you do that, but this cannot be something that after the 28th, which is the shortest day, the only positive side to it being in February is that it is Valentine's Day and it represents love. Other than that, it's the shortest month of the year. Um, but we need to make sure we are screaming at the top of our lungs about our history. And
Yeah.
here's why. And my mother used to say that. And
Yes.
everyone can relate to this, right?
Yeah.
When you
Yes.
wanted something really bad, your mother put it away, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And it was valuable, and if you were misbehaving, she'd take that valuable stuff away from you, right?
Yep.
And then you
Yep.
had to earn it back, right? So now here they're trying to shut us down, man. They're
Yep.
trying to keep us from talking. So that tells you what you're learning right now. Your wokeness is scaring the hell out of them. Sorry, Pastor. Your wokeness. And so, guys, all I can say to you, get so woke that you walk around reciting Black history like you demented or something.
And they say, right, if you don't tell your own story, they're going to tell it for you, and they're going to tell their version of it, which really most of the time is not the truth.
And
So
that's what we have been talking. That's what we've been talking about. My favorite line is, if you're not sitting at the table, then you are definitely on the menu, and they
that's
about to
right.
eat you up alive. So
That's
you
right.
need to be at the table, and we need to have this conversation. And every one of you, Fernando, thank you. Yes, hopefully we do live up to the good stuff. And Greater Ambassador House of Prayer, welcome to the Business Zone. Go tell some friends, have them all come back. So
Shout out to Fernando Young, man. Appreciate you watching and appreciate you following us. We're the #1 small business show in California, in the US, that we know of. And now we're getting some international support as well. We're getting support in South Africa. We're getting support in Canada. I think Kenya,
yeah.
and
And actually,
Nigeria.
the last time I checked, we even had some people watching from Germany, and we also had
Venezuela. Venezuela.
and Amsterdam in the
Yeah.
Netherlands, so Germany. So
Yeah.
there's quite a people watching all over. No
Oh, yes.
Jamaica. No, we haven't got Jamaica yet. We got Jamaica
Yeah.
right here on the call.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send out some visions to Jamaica so they can join and see that, hey, we're dealing with self-sufficiency here.
Right.
But one thing we said last week on this show, that when it comes to the Buy Black movement and supporting Black entrepreneurs, Black communities, Black and brown communities, because we ought to be combining our resources so we can be stronger together. So one thing I said is that I'm willing to put my life down, because when you start speaking facts on programs like these, they try to shut you up, they try to kill you, they try to get you out of the way, they try to delete you. That's what they try to do. But I'm willing to put my life on the line for my entrepreneurs because I strongly believe in my entrepreneurs. I believe in the messages that we're providing here on the Business Zone. So we're going to keep doing that. So, if it means they're going to take me down for speaking the truth and trying to help a dispossessed group, then I'll keep doing it. They got to take me down while I'm trying to help.
All righty. So, and my passion and the reason I do it, and today I was on a call, and this really just set my teeth on edge. I do the biz camp for the kids, right? And we're in the process of doing our spring competition. So we were all laughing and talking today, and they were asking, so Crystal, what is something that you need some assistance with? I said, I'd love to be able to get the kids to come in on a regular basis all at the same time. And so it was a teacher online. He says, oh, we'd love to have them just in school all at the same time. I said, what are you talking about? Wait a minute, because mine
what you talking about?
Thing.
What you talking about, Willis?
And so he basically said that the children are not coming to school. The children, and I said, well, wait, I don't quite understand. I thought it was legal. It was illegal for them not to come to school. Right. And he says, no, kids, he says, today is Friday. He says, we have 71 students in school today.
Wow.
This is high school. 71 kids. Wow. But they got over 400 kids or more than that registered in that's supposed to be in school. So they don't come to school on Friday. And he says on Monday and Tuesday, Monday, they only come a half. They come when they want. They slide in at 10. They might slide in at 11. Their parents are dropping them off. And so I said, well, what happened? Wait a minute. I'm confused. How are they going to, be ready for life? And he says, yeah. Oh, they gonna be influencers. I was like,
what?
Excuse
me? Are they talking about TikTok influencers? Is that what they're talking about?
Yes. Yes, they're talking about making money online. Now you and I know we've been working on that. It's not a promised thing.
Yeah, it's not as easy as they think, man. It's not as easy.
It's not as easy as they think. And so that was scary. So that's my motivation. And that's why we have to be always speaking about what's happening in our community and what we need to do. And we need to be shouting to our children how important it is for them to know their history and understand why we are doing what we do.
Yep. I totally agree.
It's so very important. So just increased my motivation even more so.
Yeah.
And now I'm ready to fight, man, because that's just crazy.
Well, you know me, I'm a dutiful helper, from the jump. I'm a professional supporter of everyone. So I'm always helping people to seek higher goal and be self-sufficient and tapping to their capacity and see the best they can bring out. So I'm there with you, my sister. I'm there to help you, to help these small businesses. And Marian Lopez, much respect to you. Thanks for listening. How are those cheesecake coming along, Mama Cheesecake? We got Valentine's coming up. People are going to want some cheesecake, Marianne.
True that. So we're getting ready to get started, but everybody's ready for Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I got a television I need to sell.
Oh, huh?
I got a television I need to sell, man. Got a big old 65-inch that I bought, but I got too many of them. So
okay. So you think this is a good time for that to happen?
Oh, yeah, for Super Bowl, yeah.
Okay, well, anybody listening, Gilbert's got a television for you, so go on out there and get your television. All righty. So we ready to kick this off?
Oh,
Last-
yes. Oh,
Last
yes.
week we did Marcus Garvey. We will be coming back again with more Marcus Garvey, but in honor of Marcus Garvey, because he was a true entrepreneur and he truly was a man that fought against the tyranny of the colonizer, and managed to do some incredible things. And we talked about how he actually brought 6 million people in, and so very impressed by that. So today we're going to talk about some other things, but we're going to first kick it off, Gilbert, with this cute little video that I found that I thought was just, we have to play it. So this is in honor of all of our ancestors that really made the world that we live in today possible with all the modern conveniences. And then we're going to jump in from there. So we're going to share the screen.
Yep.
And I'm going to bring in the video.
So while you're putting that up, one of the things that we're going to... Did you have it?
Wait. We don't have sound?
No, I'm not hearing your sound at all.
Oh, okay. Wait, so hold up, guys. I'm over here just jamming and y'all not jamming to the same music. So let me see. I must not have... Oh, the sound tab is on. Is the sound tab on here? Why, you mean I'm not going to be able to play my music?
Yeah, go ahead and check it and see what's going on. It's probably just a button that needs to be clicked.
Yeah, I clicked it. Let me see. Let me click it off and let me click it back on.
Yeah, Fernando said he's not hearing anything.
Okay, so let's try it again.
Yeah.
You guys hear it?
Nope, nothing at all.
Oh, wait. I haven't played it yet. No?
Nope, nothing at all.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't know why I can't hear it today. All right, maybe I'll get it to play at the end. All right, so no music. It was a nice little hip hop, and it was all talking about us left to the right, up to the round, whatever it was. But I'll have to figure out why it's not letting me hear. Let me see. Maybe I have to go into the audio.
Yeah, maybe you just need to do a few little tweets there.
Yeah. Okay, I'll come back to it. All right. So, well, I'll plug it into the replay, and you can go back to. You can actually hear it. Yeah, I clicked that, Greg. I don't know why it's not sharing. Why it's not doing that. I can see it. It says share tab audio. Oh, maybe this will do it. Let's try this. Oh, here you go. There we go.
Black history,
Can you hear it now?
yours.
Yeah.
And we say it loud and proud again. There's no America without the African. Fighting to get it equal. Black history, the story of the people. Black history, it's yours. Black history, yes, it's yours. It's yours. Only 28 days in the month of February. It's just a kickoff, we don't stop till every textbook and every class give up the glory. The true and living facts of his and her story. People want to know why we still celebrate it. Road been rocky and we made it, we elated. Our survivors, strivers, fighters, singers get us dropping names like we have butterfingers. Rosa, King, X-Truth, the greatness. Ali, Fred Douglass, these are the basics. But how about Bessie Coleman, the fly aviatrix? Or Katherine Johnson, who helped launch the spaceships? Or Lewis Latimer illuminating homes? Or Dr. Shirley Jackson improving telephones? Or Fred McKinley Jones keeping ice cream cold? I could go on and on till my body get old. Left to the right, top to the floor. When I say black history, say it's yours. Black history, it's yours. Black history, yes, it's yours. Fought the revolution in both world wars. Black history, it's yours. Black history, yes, it's yours. Black history, yes, it's yours. Gotta say it loud and proud again. There's no America without the African.
All righty. No America without the African.
I love it. I love
Was that great? Fernando said, "Yeah, no America without us." And that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about that. This America that we live in is an America that our ancestors built from the ground up with their sweats off their back and the beatings, the sacrifice, the everything. And so why I titled our topic today, why Black America is more important than ever, is because there is a contingency of people that want to shut us down. They want to ban our conversations about our history. You have your 1619. Ever since the slaying of at the beginning of in 2020, and what we went through from 2020 with the killing of George Floyd, it has been a campaign because all of a sudden everybody woke up, right? And
Temporarily.
well, because then they came along and they've been talking about this critical race theory, which actually is not really what it is, not what they feel it is, but
Right.
it's a way to shut us down. So you got the little handout I sent over to you.
Yeah.
So everybody knows what Black History Month is about. We all know that Carter G. Woodson actually was a brainchild of his, and since 1976, every U.S. president has officially designated the month of February as Black History Month. Other countries around the world, including Canada, the UK, also devote a month to celebrate Black History Month. They don't do it in the month of February. I believe in the UK they do it in the month of October. So Gilbert, you had said the other day, you wanted to talk about, you love Black History Month when we talk about the inventors, right?
Oh yes. Oh
Right.
yes, definitely.
So I found some stuff that you might find quite interesting. So here's some noteworthy
Some
facts.
noteworthy statistics.
Statistics for you, man. From 1870 to 1940, Black people living in the North were 8 times more likely to be awarded a patent than Black people living in the South.
Wow.
Although white people had 3 times more likely to invent a patent technology than white people in the South, but in Black people, the North actually shared it was an equal population between the whites and the Blacks in the number of patents that were approved within the United States during that time frame.
That's interesting.
And then with Black people, there were 50,000 total patents Black people were accounted for.
50,000.
50,000 for
Wow.
inventions during this period than any other immigrant from any other country that actually came to the United States.
I believe.
Yeah.
that. And you know why I believe, Crystal?
Why is that?
Because we after they claim that slavery was abolished in 1865. Even then, that's when the revolution started, when blacks start creating and inventing stuff and submitting it for patent, which they were refused. They were not allowed to apply for patents. So what happened is their white masters would take their invention, patent it, and take credit for those patents, just like the light bulb. Right? The light bulb was invented by the Black man, and he never got credit for that. His white slave master took credit for that, or former slave master took credit for that, because they wouldn't allow us to apply for patents. You submit an application, they would throw it in the garbage. They knew it's a great idea, so they would take it, put their names on it, and take credit for it. And that's what happened.
And that's why I would imagine in the North it was much maybe the process was a little easier than in the South, because obviously in the South they were the ones that literally lost the revenue. So for those of you that don't know this, and I read another book, I love to read, guys, because that's where I get the knowledge is right there, black and white. Read it, digest it, store it into the computer in your head. So I read a book called Collective Courage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an amazing book, because one of the things the young lady that her name is Isabel, one of the things that she wrote about was that 30 days after the emancipation, our emancipation, America lost what would be equivalent in today's time $25 million in revenue. And why? Because they no longer had free revenue. So for all of you business owners out there, just imagine if you could run your business with no
free labor.
Free labor.
With
Just
free
with free
labor.
labor.
You don't have to pay your employees. You get them showing up for 8 to 10 hours a day, and you don't have to pay them. That's what was going on there.
Right. So Fernando says indentured servitude is a form of labor when individuals are under contract to work without slavery to repay an indenture or loan. Now, Fernando, in America, that happened after they emancipated us. And then they created this new thing called sharecropping, which was the new slavery.
That is ridiculous, man.
So just imagine running your business. You can have 25, 50 employees and you didn't pay not one of them.
Man, I'll tell you.
So that would make life real easy.
That's crazy.
So I could see that. So given the vast differences between the mentality and the philosophies in Northern America and Southern America, not to say that the North didn't have some racial issues, they did, but politically, it didn't really work in their favor as much as it did in the South. But just knowing that us as Black people, we had skills that were utilized in this free slavery, in this free labor, where we did all the carpentry, we did all the plumbing, we cut down trees, we tilled the soil.
We build the White House for free.
The White House, all of those. So with all of that, obviously we learned how to do certain things. And as any of us know, if we're innovative human beings, you learn how to shorten or to minimize the heavy duty tasks that you have to complete every single day. So you come up with a gadget that, such as the broom, such as the mop, right? Because you had to get on your hands and knees and scrub with the floor. So we invented things like the mop, the broom. We were combing the master's children's hair, so we invented the comb. We invented everything. But this is the thing, Gilbert. I was watching a documentary the other day, and it was talking about the migration of Africans out of Africa as the food was dissipating, and they had to go to other places, which is why Black people really literally populated the world, because they migrated out of the motherland in order to do that, right? So they were already had the original tools. Our ancestors, 50,000 years ago, already had these tools.
Yes.
And so they brought them here, and so that is why. And Gilbert, you've gone through this patent process.
Oh yeah.
So it's not an easy process.
It's not easy, and they still suppress us too. They try to give us a hard time, and some people don't have such a hard time. So we're still going through some of the same things.
Right, exactly. And so that brings us to why it's so important that we celebrate our Black culture and our contributions, and to maintain and to make sure we're acknowledging who we are, and not even our own will say, why is this so important? Why? Because even you forget who you are.
We need to tell our own story so others don't tell it for us in a distorted manner. And a few inventions, Crystal, that I want to go over
So
that
please do.
to let folks really know who are the original and the official inventors of these things, that they were black inventors. The stove was invented by T.A. Carrigan in July of 1876. The stethoscope was invented by Imhotep. The rolling pin was invented by John W. Reed in 1884. The electric lamp or light bulb, we're talking about light bulb that Edison took control of, right? That was invented March 21, 1882 by Louis Latimer. That's a black man, okay? The eye protector by P. Johnson, and that was in November 2nd, 1880. The doorknob, the doorknob, guys, was invented by O. Dorsey, December 10th, 1878. Oh, but check this out. The guitar,
Because we're
guys.
about music, man. We're about
The
music.
guitar, Robert Fleming Jr., March 3rd, 1886. The hairbrush to brush our hair. That's Lydia O. Newman, and that's November 15, 1898. The ironing board was done by Sarah Boone. Now, Sarah Boone she created that invention, the ironing board, because back in slavery, massa would give us all kinds of work to, hey, you need to iron this clothes, and we have nothing to use on it. So that's how she came up with the ironing board, to make her life easier. Just so you know, guys, most inventions came about because the jobs they were giving us to do was so strenuous, so difficult, and we had to find an easier way to do it because it was killing us. And that's how we came up with many of these inventions. The traffic light, guys, the traffic light that you see out there, red, yellow, green, that was created and invented by Garrett Morgan, a black man, in November 20th, 1923. And I'll tell you the story behind that. In the black community, the little kids would play in the street, from different families. They would play in the street, and the whites would drive their vehicles really fast through the neighborhood, and they would kill many of the kids while they're playing in the street, and nothing came of it. So that's how the traffic light it came about. It was created by Garrett Morgan to slow down traffic. And not only did they do the traffic light, but they also put extra blockage in the road that will slow. They call it speed bump. That would slow down the traffic because the light wasn't doing it by itself. So they had to put those little speed bumps in there to slow them down too, because they didn't want to damage their vehicles, so they would slow down. The tricycle was invented by M.A. Cherry, May 8th, 1888. The refrigerator, the refrigerator was invented by J. Standard, and that was July 14th, 1891. I'm telling you, man, we've got over 100 different inventors here that invented stuff. Peanut butter, we know that was done by George W. Carver. The riding saddle, that's W.D. Davis, back in 1896. The gas mask, you name it, the egg beater, it's all there, man. Even the commode, the commode.
Because they were doing all the work, Gilbert.
They're doing all the work, man. So they had to find a way to make life easier, because otherwise it would have taken them forever to do what they needed to do. And it's the same thing here in our economy right now. And I just want people to think of this, okay? There is a reason when you see a surge in entrepreneurs in the marketplace. It's because things got bad in the economy. Either there's a recession or people can't find jobs. So when you can't find jobs or you can't find things to do to feed your family, what do?
You
You become
create.
creators, right?
You become
You
creators.
you invent things. And that's how you see a lot of entrepreneurs in the marketplace. If you look at it, a lot of immigrants come here to this country, right? They can't find work. They won't get
Mhm.
they won't give them work. So what do? They become entrepreneurs. They start their own business. They start doing what they need to do. So folks, there is a system to this process. I just want you to know that, guys. And we're hearing words that there will be another recession coming up between April and June of this year. And so we gotta brace ourselves and be ready for this, guys. Be ready. The only way you can circumvent some of this recession with opportunities for entrepreneurship is to tap into government contracts. And that's what we want you guys to start thinking about. Government contracts, guys. If you don't know how to do it, that's what we do here on the Business Zone. We teach you guys how to be prepared for government contracts, how to bid on government contracts, and how to manage government contracts after you get them so you don't lose them. So that's what the Business Zone is all about, guys. It's about promoting self sufficiency, growth, and elevation in this community.
So, and Greg asked the question: Did black folks invent fried chicken? A whole country did, Greg. Fried chicken was brought from West Africa by 500,000 people. So yes, the answer to that is yes. We brought fried chicken, fried and braised chicken. So we did bring that as well. So there you have it. And they eat fried chicken all over the world as well, which is some of the culture that came from us. Greg says a black man invented the video game as well as the cell phone by a black woman, and even the what do you call it, the memes, not the memes, the GIFs, GIFs, that
Oh,
was
the GIF,
that was also
the
invented
black
by
person. Yeah,
of recent, and these are tech people in the
yeah,
tech world. So
yeah. Hey,
we
Greg. Hey, Greg. One thing else that black people invented: the oxtail.
at least in Jamaica,
The oxtail.
in the
when
Caribbean.
when Massa would buy the meat from the slaughtered
Yeah.
cows, they would throw away that part of it into the garbage. And our folks, our foreparents, they would go in there because they had no money, they had nothing to get food. So they would take the discarded part of the meat and they would go and cook it. And that's how the oxtail invasion started.
The
So they
oxtail, the chitlins, pig feet, the chicken feet,
chitlins, all of that.
all of those things came from slavery. So yeah, the
and
traditions.
and you know what's amazing? They used to throw away that stuff. They used to give it away for free. No, they're selling oxtail for like $20 a pound. $20.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
it's a delicacy.
I cannot believe it,
It is
man.
a delicacy. So yes, yeah. Yeah, I remember my grandmother used to. Well, my grandmother was a vegetarian, but the other parts of the family they were not vegetarians. So, and my grandfather wasn't a vegetarian, so he was a chef, and he catered, and he actually went around. That's one of his entrepreneurial jobs. So you guys think I had a lot of jobs? No,
Right.
I get it. Honestly, my grandfather he was a pastor.
Right.
He was a circuit preacher. He was a chef. He owned a grocery store. And then my grandmother she was in the church. She was in the church. He was out there
Yeah.
making the living. So I
Right.
get it, honestly. Greg says now chefs went to Jamaica and had oxtails, came back, started cooking at high-end restaurants and drew the prices up. Yes, they did. So oxtail is now a delicacy. It used to be scraps that was thrown out from the back kitchen and to feed the slaves.
You know what's amazing, Greg? You know what's amazing? I even go to some of those higher end restaurants and see them serving oxtail. They don't really know how to cook it the right way, but they're serving it.
Of
And
course they don't.
the price is high. So I'm going, man, these guys are something else, man.
And short ribs and all the things that
Short ribs,
yeah, all our ancestors, provided, and they did
cow feet, pig's feet, all of that.
all that's the hooves, hog malls, all that stuff, man, is came because they threw it out, and we figured out how to make a delicacy out of it,
Yeah.
and there you go. And now you go somewhere and you spend a whole lot of money, $30-$40 a plate for something that was thrown out as trash. But
Greg said he's still waiting on vegan chitlins. Vegan.
now that could be interesting. Both pork and vegan.
Oh Lord.
So one of the reason why it's so important that we continue to recognize and celebrate Black History Month, but not just this one month, but continuously. And here's why. In 2020, the deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd ignited a global outcry against the police-involved murders of Black people. America elected the first Black female president, Kamala Harris, and witnessed the swearing in of the most ethnically diverse Congress to date. Black Lives Matter movement was slammed as an extreme sect and held as a catalyst for change, later earning a Nobel Peace Prize nomination. As the pendulum swung between race, wars, and policy change, the pandemic painted yet another picture of racial disparity in the disproportionate numbers of Black fatalities. So this is a comment. These are two very potent comments made. The past year has brought to light so many social, economic, and racial issues that have plagued society for far too long. And this is from the NAACP. They wrote in a statement to Reader's Digest. Black History Month is a critical inflection point for us to call to remembrance our collective history and inform us of our past and our future. Social activist Dr. Bernice King, she's the daughter of the late Martin Luther King Jr., agrees that this month marks a crucial crossroads. She feels, I think we're not in a moment. What we're in is a revolution. And we're going to see massive change and transformation in our society. And so now we're seeing individuals that want to take us back to before we had a voice, before legislation, before the amendments 12, 13, 14, and 15 was written. We already know they've abolished the affirmative action. Everything that we achieved during the fight of Martin Luther King, they are strategically trying to strip away. And the one thing that they're definitely trying to strip away is our wokeness. So we have to be vigilant about making sure we shout out what is important to us. So there's a pattern, guys. According to an analysis from PEN America, at least, and this is startling to me, 10 states have a truth ban in effect as of January 2022. Meanwhile, over 100 additional educational gag orders are as of this writing slated for consideration in more than 30 states. That's serious.
That is unbelievable.
That's unbelievable, right? Increasingly, the proposed bans seek to impose lawmakers' restrictions on speech not only in K through 12 public classrooms, but also on discussions in higher education institutions, state agencies, business entities that receive state funding or contracts, and even organizations that benefit from state tax exemptions or have nonprofit status. So that means me. That means any contracts that you have. That means anything that is government connected. They want to limit your speech. So free
Yeah.
speech, which is the First Amendment, will
Mhm.
not apply to us as Black people.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Here's a strange fact that came up on your stats there, co-host.
Okay.
So they're saying that there are 21.2% Black people in poverty today. 21.2%. We figure there are about 42.9 million blacks in the
Mm-hmm.
US.
Mm-hmm.
42.9 million, right? And think of it, 21.2% of those are in poverty. And
Wow.
that's on the low end. You see what I mean? So that means there's a lot of room, a lot more room and urgency for us to promote entrepreneurship among minorities, blacks, minorities, and there are brown people too who share in some of these poverty and communities.
Oh, because they're living right there along with us, and
Exactly.
and so the same thing counts for them.
Hmm.
Far as being a minority,
Yeah.
um, is to keep you suppressed, is to keep you in a labor mode.
And like we said earlier, right? This isn't an accident why these things are happening. They are policies that are implicitly and explicitly designed to discriminate against our folks. So we got to stop sitting and waiting for the person who is beating you down to give you an opportunity and create your own opportunity. So that's what we're doing here on the Business Zone, folks. We are creating opportunities for small businesses, minority businesses, disadvantaged businesses, women-owned businesses, and veteran-owned businesses. We got to step up to the plate, guys. We got to start carving out our own path for success and opportunities. There's no way you're going to get rich working for the man. There's no way. I don't know anyone who's gotten rich in a 9 to 5 job. No one. Unless you're a CEO at one of those banks getting hundreds of millions of dollars. But other than that, I don't know anyone. So the only way you can get rich, folks, you gotta start your own business. You gotta be your own entrepreneur. Find the pain in the marketplace that you can solve better than your competitors. Find the pain in the marketplace that you can solve better than your competitors. And then we can help you. We can help you put together your business model, put together your business plan, put together a systems. We help you set up your back office. We help to measure your business, assess your business to see whether or not your business ready, your contract ready, your funding ready, or whether you're nonprofit ready. So those are things, folks, you want to start looking at. You're not alone. You are not alone. Crystal and I are here to help you. Crystal have been in the industry for over 30 years, folks. She's been helping large companies, medium-sized companies, small companies do their books, their accounting. She's done forensics accounting, guys. She gets in the numbers. She knows what's going on. She can look at your books and tell you in 5 minutes whether you're losing money through the left ear or out of the right ear.
Wow, that's like a circus act.
So
I got the
guys,
circus act going on.
guys, I'm telling you, you gotta and see that's a thing that's really a barrier for us, small and minority businesses in the marketplace. Many of us don't pay attention to our books. We don't look at the the balance sheet. We don't look at the P&L. And then when we present ourselves to funders, then we get turned down. So
Right.
you can't deal with that.
And we also undersell ourselves, right? We underestimate how much money we can actually make. We don't really think big and broad. We think small. Um, this came across my in through my inbox yesterday, and that this company is called E.E. Ward Moving and Storage Company. It started as an underground railroad. And so this guy in 1881, he had horse and buggy operation, delivering runaway slaves to freedom.
Wow.
Today, 140 years later, the E.E. Ward Moving and Storage Company has grown into a multi-million-dollar company and one of the most successful businesses in the state of Ohio. And he passed away. Well, he actually retired. And this is something else that happens in our community. We work very hard in order to create our business, right? And then we may not have children that want to take over the business, right? And so Fernando says there's an echo with you. I didn't hear it, but I didn't.
Yeah, there's an echo.
Oh, okay, you can hear it. So so this guy, he found, a lot of times if they don't have children or your kids don't work, this man had a godson. He turned his business over to his godson. He didn't let his business just, after 100 years in business, he didn't let his business just go to the wayside. So those are things we have to think about as well, Gilbert, is what is our succession plans? What are we doing that is going to continue on the hard work that we worked so hard for? So I was very impressed with the fact that he was able to do that. He did that. I thought, wow, that's something that people don't think about. That's what I always say. Go find a cousin, niece, nephew, somebody else's child that seems like they want to get into your business. Go find them. So the other thing that we're doing today, guys, is this. So we know, especially understanding that there's a ban put on us speaking our history. So when you tell me I can't do something, that means I'm going to do it even more so. Just because you told me I can't. So you're going to have to really shut me down.
We are rebels.
We are rebels. But here's the reason why we have to keep telling our story. Because just what Gilbert talked about, poverty in America, the wealth gap for us keeps growing and growing and growing. I remember about 10 years ago, Dr. George Fraser was talking about that it would take us to 250 something years to be able to close the wealth gap, right? That's half of the time we were in slavery. But now we had the pandemic. So what did that do to us? Where did that set us back? If we were already set back 200 and something years. So here's some stats, guys, that 53% of the Black households suffered great income loss during the pandemic. The Economic Policy Institute reported in 2018 that Black men were paid $69.70 in comparison to the white male dollar, and women earned $60.80 on to the in comparison to the white female dollar. So the Black woman. So today the matter has gotten even worse. So the disparity between our income, our wealth is growing and growing, and without a economic power of money, dollars, and influence, we will never, ever be able to close that wealth gap.
That's true.
That's so important.
That is true. And there are so many things that we can talk about enhancing our capacity, our position, and elevating ourselves to tightening the gap, that wealth gap. There's so many things we can talk about. But I think the first and foremost one that we want to talk about is entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship is the one that's at the forefront and easier for folks to get on board with. Now, as we know, many businesses, many small businesses, they're very good at their craft, but when it comes to managing, running the business, they're not so good at that. And that's where we come in. We understand that. So that's where Coach Crystal and Coach Gilbert come in. We're here to help you with that part. Your infrastructure, the back office, the bookkeeping, the accounting system, knowing what's needed for your company to become certified, government certified so you can get contract. And when you do bid and win a contract, how do you maintain that contract? So we do contract compliance with you, do the monthly reports to the government, and report it to the prime contractors. Those are things we do. And if it's a government contract which involves construction, then we can do the labor compliance, the contract compliance, and the certified payroll for you. So you don't have to worry about any of that, guys. All you've got to do is perform your job on the contract, get your money, and you'll be good. And you won't have to be in this position. This 21.2% poverty rate that I'm reading here, this is alarming to me, guys. Alarming. We can't. Crystal, you tell them about the black dollar, how long it lives in our community, because they probably need to hear this.
So for those of you that don't know, for some of you that are listening here, I am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. And so it's when we look at how the dollars circulate in this country. So we know white America's dollars are unlimited in their community, which gives them power. In the Asian community, it's about 14 times. In the Hispanic community, it's about 11 times. So meaning that they're taking their dollars and putting them back into their community. In the Black community, and this is so sad, our dollar stays in our community for 6 hours.
6 hours,
6
folks.
hours.
6 hours. That means if you got paid at 12 o'clock today, by 6 o'clock, that dollar is gone out of our community. It's gone somewhere else. 6 hours.
Gone somewhere else.
So good.
Somewhere else. It's somewhere else. So we cannot continue to live like that. We really, truly have to change what we're doing. So it has nothing to do with anybody else. We need to be more vocal. We need to be we need to read, and we need to understand what's going on. We need to question everything. We need to be like a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old going, why? And if you don't get the answer you want, then become even more persistent to find out why. Go do your research. And then don't fall into the status quo or learned helplessness. Fight back, guys. So Black History Month this month is the theme this year is about resistance. We must resist maintaining the status quo.
That's right.
We gotta resist the status quo. We have to fight. We have to do it within our family structures. We have to teach our children how to spend their dollars better. We have to teach our children to support other Black people. And then, yes, Marian, and then we have to make sure we set an example that we're buying from Black people. Now, not to say that everything you need is going to be found, but I think if you really looked hard, you probably could find most of what you need. Because here's the thing, Gilbert, when I went to Africa this year,
yes,
there was no problem finding and shopping with Black folks.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Not at all. When I went to Egypt, there was no problem shopping and supporting other Egyptians. So
right.
They do it.
Yes.
We're
the only ones not doing it.
We can do that. And that's in other countries that don't have as much as we have. I'm going to tell you, people, when I went to South Africa and I was in the townships, I have never seen poverty on that level before. That's a whole different poverty. Same thing in Egypt. That's a whole different poverty that we have never seen in this country. We have more resources than anywhere else in the world, even with the racism that we encounter every single day. But it means that that gives us opportunities, but we have to take those opportunities. We have to put ourselves out there, not be afraid of failure, and go for it, guys. We have to resist being in a situation where we're at the very bottom of the totem pole.
Wow.
And so, because for me, what that says to me, Gilbert, is that I'm
Yeah.
falling in the hands exactly the way you want me to.
Right. Exactly.
And that goes against everything that I am.
And I really want to stress this because I've been saying this for the last 10 years, and I don't think anyone really is listening. So I want to say this again and again. If we keep repeating the same story over and over again, maybe a handful of people will listen. So I'm going to make it my responsibility to repeat this. So we've been here trying to do business with the dominant culture, and that may not be working for us. So why don't we pool our resources and do business with each other? Why don't we do business with the Latinos? There are 39% of them, 39% of Latinos, 13% of blacks. You add those together, that's 52%. Now we're the majority. Why can't we do business among ourselves, guys? You see what I'm saying? 39% plus 13, that's 52%. You put that together, that's a majority there, guys. So
That's a
I mean, this
majority.
is not a strange concept, guys. Back in the beginning of time, we used to combine resources. That's how entrepreneurship started, because people used to barter. One person would bring, hey, I got some sugar. The other person, I got some flour. The other person say, hey, I got 2 legs of a chicken over here. You want it? You put them all together and you barter, and that's how you get what you want. Let's do the same thing, guys. 39% Latinos. Let's add the 13% blacks. We got 52%, guys. Let's do some business. Right, Marianne? I know Marianne is ready to do some business.
And as Greg found that information for us last week, just imagine if we did business all over the world in the African and the Hispanic diaspora. And the African diaspora
Amazing.
includes the black
Amazing.
Hispanics. That is seven. What I think Greg, I think Greg said that's 7 billion people. I
Yes.
think you can take, as I tell the kids, take a percentage of 7 billion and see how much money you're making.
Man, I tell you, man. I tell you. This is amazing. And see, that's we got to start thinking outside of the box, and that's how we got to do this thing. We got to be not only the flavor of the month, but the flavor that they will never give up on. They'll always want this flavor. So that's how we got to do this thing. That's why I'm really aggressively going after small businesses to get them certified, government certified, whether it's with the state of California, the county, the city, with Metro, or the supplier clearinghouse. I want to get all of you guys certified, so when contract providers are looking for businesses, they don't say, hey, I can't find any qualified or certified small business. Well, we got them. We got them here. We got over 2,500 of them. So let's do some business, guys. Let's do business together.
Exactly. So basically, guys, we don't want to preach at you, but what we want you to understand that where we are today, and why it's so important that we uplift and we really connect with our history, not just in this month, but every single day. We do our research, and we pass this information amongst our peers, amongst our families, and even those that are not with us, not within our culture, because it's very important. Some very important facts is that Black people and other minorities, we have experienced the poorest health outcomes in history, mainly because we don't have the resources to fight back. We don't have the money to get the best health care. A lot of us don't have health care. A lot of us are afraid to go to the doctor. So then when we do get to the doctor, it's too late. And now you have a crisis. So it affects every aspect of our lives. So we have health care. We know how we fared during the pandemic. Political and political power. We have no political power.
That's true.
We
That's true.
look, and it's not enough of it. So if it's only Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, a few here and there, anti-vaccine, that is not enough. We need
Yeah.
more young people going into politics. We
Yeah.
need their voices. So those of us that are in our seasoned years, we need to be encouraging our children to go to educate. And you like that, huh?
I
Our
like the way
seasoned
you said that. Seasoned years. My ears have been marinated.
we're seasoned, Gilbert. We're not old, we're seasoned. So those of us that are in our seasoned years, we have to encourage our young people to go to school for political science, and we need to encourage them to run for office, because we need to be represented in the political square, because that's where change happens. Systematic racism happens because we don't have legislation and there are no laws to prevent that from happening. So we
And
need,
like you say, if we're not at the table, we're on the menu.
we're on the menu. So here's a stat for you. Out of the 535 members of Congress, it's very disproportionate because there's 79% of them that are white, and the balance, and there are only 162 Black people who have held a congressional seat, according to every CRSreport.com. So how they're representing, we make up 13% of the population. That's over, I think, 9 million people. I think that's what we represent. 9
Yeah.
million, 13 million people.
13
million with the incarcerated, 9 million with the unincarcerated.
Right.
So we need to be able to push a different. We need to be able to push our agenda, but we can't do that with with so low representation. Next is education. Here's some startling news for you. So since some 66 years ago, Brown versus Brown was the ruling for blacks numbering in majorities white schools. Today, we have far less Black kids in white schools. During the 2015-2016 school year, 44.3% of the toddlers received out of school suspensions were Black. Now, how you suspend a toddler?
Wow. That is some crazy stuff, man. That is some crazy stuff. They're being inventive. That's what they're doing. Oh, my Lord. That is crazy.
Public schools are commonly filled with Hispanic and Black students. They make up a majority of pupils placed in gifted programs. In 2016, according to the OCR, out of the 30.2 million students, Black children made up only a paltry 8.5% of the enrollment in the gifted programs. Hispanics made up 18%. Native Americans made up less than 1%, while meanwhile, white children made up 58% of the gifted school programs.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Those are just staggering. When you read the history, I mean, when you hear the stats, you're like, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
So, and then this is the housing. So we all know what's going on in the real estate world. We know that the majority of the homeless people that are on the street are Black and brown people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we also know that our income, you just read it, Gilbert, our income is far less than the white man's income, which means that we are the working poor. That means I have to work 4 jobs in order to pay my rent. Now I can barely work one, but imagine working 4 jobs.
You remember at the beginning of the show, you talked about how wealthy those slave owners were because they were getting free labor. They're still getting free labor out of us. They're working us and they're paying us a fraction of what we should be getting. They're getting some free labor out of us, man.
Yeah. So the shareholder. What I call them, the what's the name? Shareholders. So here's the thing. Any one of us could be in that position. Now, I do have 4 businesses, right? I run 4 businesses doing what I do, but I make money from each one of them. But I can do those based upon the schedule that I have. Imagine going to work at 6 in the morning, getting off at 3, going straight to another job at 3, and then going to another job after that one, and then another one. I don't even know when they sleeping. When does people sleep?
That's right.
My girlfriend is in the she's in HR, and she at her company last week, and she told me this. She said they hired a security guard. His job, he was to start at 7 in the morning. He asked her, could he leave before she knew the story? He had to leave about 8:30. And he would come back, and she's like, what? This is like the first job. What's happening here? So he explained he's a single parent. His babies were in the car, sleep, while he was in the office. And then he had to go get his children to school. And then come back, and then come back to work. And they were in an after school program, so he didn't have to leave straight from there. So he had no wife, no family, no nothing. He is the only one taking care of his kids.
Unbelievable.
And he had 3 jobs, including taking care of his children. How the heck are you supposed to close the wealth gap when you work in 3 jobs just to pay for rent? I don't even understand. So again, we cannot be muted. They cannot mute us.
Nope. We'll still be talking.
You cannot let them mute us because there's too many issues. I even talked about the criminal justice system. We already know what that looks like. So guys, this is basically is to close with saying that we must continue to resist. We, even after this month is over, we must continue to get on your social media. We have, until they shut you out, learned how to use keywords that will keep you from being shut down. I've become so creative in getting my message out, and very rarely do I get kicked off now. But
you know a little secret that I use, co-host?
What's that?
When I'm promoting my platform, Small Biz Pro, which some people may not know about, if I go to Starbucks or I go to a restaurant or some place where they have to call my name, the name I give them is Small Biz Pro. I give them a little description also. Small Biz Pro, the #1 back office. Hey, Small Biz Pro, the #1 back office. Your coffee is ready.
Oh, that's clever, Gilbert.
You see what I'm saying? We got to think outside of the box, man. Small Biz Pro, your sandwich is ready.
That is good, Gilbert. Greg said. So, Greg, you go out there and give him your name. Lifesaver Insurance. Lifesaver. Gloria, I don't know. What's the name of your business, Gloria? Whatever your name of your business.
The number one CPA firm.
So that way you're marketing, Gilbert.
Oh
That's some
yeah,
clever marketing. I like it. I like it, man. I like it.
like with Marion. Marion, you can give them your name. Say, Mama Cheesecake, your coffee is ready.
Fernando says Black Biz LA.
There you go. There you go. I'm telling you, man, try it and see what happens. Just try it and see what kind of reaction you get. It's amazing. I did it at Starbucks. Everyone was looking at me. Who's Small Biz Pro? Who's Small Biz? Hey, that's me. Number one back office, guys. Come talk to me.
I love it. So all of us that are here, go out there and give that a try. When you go out to order coffee.
If you guys haven't learned anything from this podcast today, that's one little tidbit of marketing information that could help you gain some sales. Okay.
There you go. I like that, Gilbert. That was excellent. That was great. So yes, Greg, you're right. All we can do is help those who want to be helped. The others will perish, and nothing we can do about that. That is so very, very true.
Yes.
But the ones that we can help, we will help. And but here's what I say: history shows that Black people and their allies across the races, religions, and gender have never been effectively silenced. We, the people, will always put up a robust defense of our right to express our voices at the ballot box, to freely tell the story of our lived experience and of those who came before us, and to protect the right of everyone to learn the full story of Black people's indispensable contributions to the continuous making of America. By resisting, African Americans continue to mobilize resources and shape social movements to create a space for Black Americans to thrive. We invite everyone to join us in exploring the histories of Black people, Black freedom movement from slavery and abolition to other ongoing struggles for civil and human rights. So we got to keep the fight, guys. Keep the fight.
We got to do that. And we got to keep doing it over and over. We got to keep voicing our desires over and over, because like I say, guys, if we're not writing our own story, guess what? They're going to write it for us, and they're going to leave out a lot of important parts. Think of your own business. You're out there marketing your business. Someone say, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll market it for you." And all they do is just say, "Oh, this is another brown business. They make cheesecake. That's it." Oh, another brown business. It's a local biz in Los Angeles. So we don't want that. We want to tell our story. We want to say, this is what our story, and this is how our business was founded. It was founded out of this. There was a pain in the marketplace. We stepped in, we solved that pain better than our competitors, and that's why we're so prominent in the marketplace today. People love to hear stories.
They love to hear that. So always tell your story. In fact, whenever you go out to promote your business, create a story around your ancestors, especially if you have ancestors that fought the struggle and had businesses. Let them know why you are what's your powerful why for doing what you do, and what you're doing, protecting and serving and creating a legacy for the generation that comes after you. So that's what we can do to make a better place, and to be resistant against them silencing us. We just have to be much more creative about how we do it. And for you guys watch the news. You're watching the news. I don't have to tell you, every time you turn on the news, there's another Black or brown person that's being racially discriminated or brutally murdered in the street. We see this, but the only way we can make change is that we have to economically be able to fight them with the one thing that they understand: money. They understand money.
They used to say that the person who is in charge of the bully pulpit will get their voice heard the most, or get things, addressed.
Right.
Now we've got the bully pulpit with podcasts and radio shows and different types of platforms. Now the next thing we need to do is to form a coalition, go out and influence others within our community to support the business that we're providing in order to solve their pain. And the more we do that, I guarantee you, folks, every time there is a consumer who doesn't buy from the popular competitor and buys from a small competitor like us, they're losing money. And that's our goal. Our goal is to keep chipping away at their revenue stream. So once they find out that we're occupying a larger portion of the market share, they have no choice but to try to do business with us. And that's how it's going to be. And then
Right.
we can dictate our terms.
Exactly. So we can do this. I know we can do this. We can resist and we can continue to uplift our greatness. So support each other. For those of you that live in Los Angeles, a great opportunity for you to support other Black businesses is to go over to the Crenshaw Plaza. The Pan-African Film Fest is going on until the 20th, I believe, of this month. There's going to be some great movies that's going to be shown. It started last night. I was over there yesterday to support some of my clients, Ardina Brooks. She has some beautiful artwork over there. My other friend, Denise Gordon, she has beautiful African coats and purses and jackets, all of that sort of stuff. So go over and support them and all the other vendors. There's a mall full of Black folks there looking for you to buy their products. That might be your quota for the month of February. Take your dollars over there. And at least in the month of February, say that you recycled your dollars at least 10, 15 times. So I'm already, it's what, the 10th. So I've already recycled my dollars. Yes, shout out to Ardina. I've already cycled my dollars so far, and it's since the first of the month. I've already recycled my dollars 10 times. So, and I still got, it's only the 10th. I still got 18 more days to go.
You know, Crystal, you should tell our audience also about our plans to celebrate our anniversary in July. And we want to do it there in that Crenshaw area in that plaza. Is it the mall? The Crenshaw Mall right there?
Yeah, the Crenshaw Mall. They have a great little, let me see if I can find it. It's I think I saw an advertisement for it. It's called, and this is where I think you saw that, huh?
I don't have any credit card, Greg. No credit cards. I maxed them out already. There's no credit on there.
Oh, there's no credit. They already maxed them out. But yeah, so we want to go over and support. Okay, the debit card. He'll take your debit card. He not greedy. So instead of you guys going to buy Beyonce $10,000 Beyonce tickets, don't support one Black vendor. Go to, because that's not just her. That's all the people.
Support multiple. Yes.
Right. So going over there this weekend to the Pan-African Film Fest. It's going to be great, guys. So if you're in Los Angeles, and go support your business. If you're doing Super Bowl this weekend, we got I guess there's a Black quarterback for who? For the Eagles?
Yeah, for the Eagles. But you know what I wanted to put out there? This is another missed opportunity by many of our entrepreneurs, or minority entrepreneurs, right? Every year at the Super Bowl, they provide access and opportunities for minority businesses to either sell their products at the Super Bowl, be a part of the Super Bowl, sell food or something, provide a service. And many of you missed that again this year. Last year, I think we had about 10 of our entrepreneurs at the it was last year or the year before when we had the Rams?
Yeah,
The year before. We had about 10 of our entrepreneurs there, right?
Yep.
So, guys, I want you to look at the Super Bowl as a big opportunity for you guys to not only sell your product and services, but also to do some networking with some key players. When I was at the Urban League last year, we teamed up with PepsiCo, and we brought in about 4 Black and 1 Latino business at the NFL when they had that NFL Super Bowl party, and they were able to sell products. They did a lot at that part, and they didn't even think they could be on there. But we did our relationship with PepsiCo. We got entrepreneurs there, and they were. So I want you to do the same thing and target every Super Bowl every year.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So here's the marketplace. It's called the Afro City Marketplace. This is something, it's a business co-op for Black designers and entrepreneurs, creating a new shopping experience. Absolutely love it. It be a resident.
You're going in. You're going in and out, co-host. Look like her internet service got frozen there. So in the meantime and in between time, do you guys have any questions for us before we sign out there? You guys have any questions regarding entrepreneurship, regarding your business, your back office, getting things ready? Anything at all? Nothing. Just put it in the chat, guys. Go ahead, put it in the chat. You have any questions? Just so you know, there's a lot of government contracts coming up, guys. A lot of government contracts coming this way, and they're coming from Washington. Washington is going to release a lot of funds because they're anticipating a recession. So they're going to release a lot of funds for building infrastructure and doing a lot of programs. They already started at LAX, guys. LAX. They've got work going on there. They're doing construction. They want to extend some of it. One of the reasons why I don't like flying out of LAX is because, when you go there, it's just so crazy trying to get to the airline that you need to fly out on, and, trying to figure out what gate you should go to. Well, now they're fixing that problem. And now they got that People Mover project. And it's not too late for some of you guys to get on that project, man. You need to go call up there at LAX, find out what projects are going on, talk to the primes, talk to some of the subs, see if you can get in. Even if you can get in for $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 project, do it, because that's just to let them know how good you are and what you do. So check it out, guys.
Awesome. I'm back now. My internet did a little craziness. Both teams have Black quarterbacks, so at least you guys go out and support them. I'm going to a Super Bowl party, but I'm going for the halftime show, for the food, and for the commercials.
There you go.
That's why I'm going. But I do like the Eagles.
Even at the halftime party, you can do some networking. One of our associates, Selena, she was one of the councilwoman candidates for Santa Clarita. She's got some pens that she had printed up, and she's got that at the Super Bowl. So she's circulating those pens and other gift items to go in a swag bag. So
swag bag, okay.
Yeah, so those are things you guys want to think about also, man. If you can get to any events, this is February, guys. February. You got 10 more months of the year where there's events going on from different chambers, different associations. When they have their galas, they're going to have swag bags. You want to get your product or items or a gift certificate in that swag bag so people can contact you and you can develop relationships with them. There's so many ways you can grow your business, guys. We gotta grow our minority businesses,
right? And we gotta think out the box and be creative. So that's what that's pretty much our show, guys. We are just Fernando says, I appreciate the education you dropped today about our people. You're so welcome, Fernando. Please come back. Let's see. Will you two be speaking more about getting bids, our bids selected, Gilbert?
Oh yes, we will definitely be doing that. So we're doing for Black History Month. We're doing the Black entrepreneurs, steps that people can take for self-sufficiency. Then in March, we're going to have Women's Business Month. Marianne, you should be a guest on our show. So we want to have as many women as guests on our show for the month of March. And then in April, I think it's Small Business Month. So then that's when we're going to go over bids and go over procurement and government contracts and certifications and how you guys can access it. So please, guys, check us out every Friday from 3 to 4:30. This is called The Business Zone, the #1 small business podcast that I know of in Southern California and the United States. Because since we're on the internet, we're international. We were surprised to see some of our listeners from Venezuela. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Co-host. That was just amazing.
When people are listening, it's there. They're out there. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to us today, and please come back. Let's see. Hey, Black Business Los Angeles has an event. I'd love for you two to come. Well, Fernando, reach out to us.
Just reach out to us. I put my contact information in the chat. Just go ahead and copy that. And my co-host Crystal will put hers in there too. Reach out to us, guys. We can do some counseling and consulting and coaching with you guys. We're not expensive. We're not because we try to make it affordable to small businesses like yourselves. Just remember, we got two prices. We got small business price and we got micro business price. If you're making less than $250,000 in revenues, you're a micro business. So your price is going to be different. If you're making up to 15 million a year in revenues, then you are a small business. So your price will be different. So reach out to us, guys. We'll help you.
And reach out to me, and I have other ways that you can obtain my services through some other organizations that I trained for. So,
for free.
For free for you. It's not free. I get paid, but somebody else is doing it. So just definitely reach out to me. I put my contact information in the chat right there. So share, but come back, Fernando, if you can go over and to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. We certainly appreciate that. We're trying to get to some larger numbers so that we can actually monetize our channel. So we want to thank you guys, and I hope it was some good information.
Yes.
For you, go share.
Very helpful to all of you guys.
Yeah, go share. Go to our YouTube channel. Share it with your friends and family, because we're on a crusade. We're on a crusade to change our status quo, to be resistant against the status quo, and to fight back. Because that's the only way I know how to live life, is to fight back when things are not right. In my world. So,
and we want to thank our field correspondent, Mr. Greg Sneed, for all his diligence in providing us data behind the scenes. We love that.
Yes, Greg is cool. Greg works for two podcasts, the Community Briefing and the Business Zone. So we do appreciate you, Greg. We want you all to have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourself. Gilbert, before we take out, I think I'm going to play the latter half of this little music on the Black History information. And all then you can take us out with our theme song. Our theme song. So let me play the balance part of this, because I think it was just too cute.
No sound.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's on me.
The crash, almanacs, gas furnace, and gas mask gave you hip hop, Tila rock, blues and jazz, and fresh new dances with flair and pizzazz. Automatic gear shifts to move the cars, potato chips and peanut butter in jars, laundry dryers, home security system, super soakers and suspenders. I could go on listing many contributions across institutions. Supreme Court and ball court, it's been an evolution. And we sing it every day. Blue notes like Harold Melvin for this Billie Holiday. We know what's going on. Thanks to Marvin Gaye. Get a bounce in our step on cue like Kid and Play. Gwendolyn and Kendrick, our poets represent. Hold mics tight like truths that's self-evident. Yeah, we know our heroes fantastic, but gotta remember the forgotten on the Atlantic. We We gotta honor our departed, taken from the land where humanity started. Left to the right, top to the floor. When I say Black history, say it's yours. Black history, it's yours. Black history, yes, it's yours.
All right, guys. Black history
Love it.
is yours.
All right, love that. See you guys next week. Tune into the same podcast at 3 p.m. and we'll have more fun.
As a small biz pro, I so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.